Good day, everybody. Welcome to part 2. I'm gonna try and make these videos shorter. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to make them shorter, more consumable. I think the first one was good. We talked about YouTube's change in YouTube policy. We talked about Majira Strawberry's issue with stepping on the tail of Procter & Gamble and making them all Rory, and YouTube's crackdown on Tide Pod memes. The next two items we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about two more channels and two more people furries who use YouTube, and one of them is going to hit a little close to home. So here's this one. As I noted in the first video, this channel will be demonetized. But on the plus side, you guys get free things. And by the way, I wasn't making enough money to make money, so. Like, you literally have to have $100 US before you could actually extract from the system, and I've only made $7 so far in my entire partnership, which hasn't been so long. It's only been about like probably about 3/4 of a year since I've been a YouTube partner. But that being said, there's a bigger issue at hand, and that is my real job is going through a restructuring phase right now, and unfortunately I'm on one of the restructured things. Now, fortunately, I still can have a job. Unfortunately, it will require me to move my butt relatively quickly across the state to the west side, to the Buffalo, Depew, Erie area, basically. Whereas I'm currently residing in the dead center of the state in Syracuse, orange tie, baby. You never get rid of the orange on me, man. You'll never get rid of it. Well, actually, I don't watch basketball all that much, but I do have family out here. It's where I grew up, and it's going to be a really tough decision. If it does happen, it's going to happen really quickly, and there might be some I may have to take my own hiatus for a different reason than Majira. You're gonna have to say goodbye to this wall if I do make the decision to move across state. This wall right here, this wall that served me well for a year. You'll be missed. It's gonna be rough. I've never sold a house before. I've never and doing it while buying another place, looking for another place to live in such quick manners. So it'll certainly be learning experience, and anything I learn, I'll try to pass on to people, so that if they ever find themselves in a similar situation, they could do that. I've gone through the home buying process as well, so I could probably make videos on that as well. It's very, unfortunately, like, finance is a very personal thing, and not knowing the situation around individuals' financial situations it's always very personal. Like, I'm a single dude. I can move pretty quick because I don't have to worry about anyone else, and no one else is dependent upon me. So, I can just kind of get up and go. Whereas, families and stuff like that obviously have other things to consider and a lot of other variables to unmesh. But if it impacts the channel, I'll let you know further on down the line, and we'll go from there. So just be prepared for all that, and let me stuff my beard, because my beard grows during these videos. I don't know if you've noticed, but that happens sometimes. I gotta shave it, stuff it right down there, ruining the magic. Then again, this whole section kind of ruined the magic. It's like, people have to move and people have to do things. Yes, it happens to us adults too, right, kids? It's like, you think you're established in place and you're making friends and all these social connections you make, and then you gotta move, and it's like all those people that you once knew. It's exciting in a little bit of ways too. I know that the west side of the state has a pretty bustling furry scene. I do know that there's a podcast called Furcast out there that does regular stuff, and they link to my content every once in a while and talk about it on their show. So hey, they get to meet the guy in the fleshy fuzz, in the flesh fuzz something. So maybe I could guest star on their little podcast. It'll only be like a quarter of an hour away probably. So it's an opportunity to grow my career. It's an opportunity to grow my furry career, but it's going to be at the sacrifice of my connection to my family, which is going to be like my mother, my father, and my siblings, and that's going to be tough. Where and I'm very blessed to have a family that I can, that I'm still connected with, because I've heard a lot of furry stories in this particular fandom of furries who, most furries that I know, don't really have good relationships with their families, and I'm blessed in that regard, and I always count my blessings in that regard. It'll be tough, and so bear with me as we go through that. At the long of the end of it, though, like, I was upset, I was angry, I got angry, I went through the 5 stages of grief. I'm kind of at the part of acceptance, but I'm still sort of bargaining with myself as to whether, like, I could sit on my laurels and sit here and make my company sweat it out a bit, because since I'm such a very good employee, maybe I should just sit here and let them sweat a bit and make them miss me, and then maybe we can come to a better compromise. It would be kind of a jerk of me to do that, though, so it's I'm sort of trying to think through things, but at least I have the opportunity to do that. And like with the YouTube announcement of telling people beforehand instead of like pulling the rug out from under them right away, I think that communication is great, especially since and this is where it comes full circle. For the next furry YouTuber, sometimes people don't have the luxury of even a few months of figuring out, do you move on from your current home, or can you stay where you are? Some people don't even get that option, and some people run into these things. So next we're going to talk about these guys. This is Chaya Cabot, or Shia Cabot. Shia Cabot. I hate how bad I am with names, that I'm a news reporter. But anyways, this is Shia Cabot, and this is Moji. Moji is a fursana fursuit, but their actual performer name is Ty Husky. So these two individuals are known for their performance troupe, and it's their YouTube channel is called DifFURently. It's not an active channel, so as I said in the first part, in part 1, this 4,000 hour thing could impact their channel and make them demonetized as a partner. I don't know how many hours they have in viewership. But as videos grow stale, they get less and less views over time, so it's possible that the amount of hours that you watch gets stale over time. And given they don't update too frequently, but their content's pretty good, and I found it quite humorous, and I always enjoyed watching the little skits. They could be affected by this, but more importantly and more devastatingly right now, they're dealing with a situation in which they are without a home currently. As of the posting of this video, they're currently looking for a place to live, and I believe they live in the Virginia area, Richmond, Virginia area. I think that's what one of their Twitter things said. There was a fire in a complex just across from their complex, and let's see if I can get it. There we go. I'm trying to figure out where to click things. Lean in, look. Anyways, so they're dealing with an issue where this is a screenshot of a tweet that Shia Cabot made on January 16th. The apartment complex across from their apartment complex caught fire, and it really caught fire, as you can see in the image here. It did damage to their residency as well. The two complexes are connected by sort of a sky bridge in the way back. The fire sort of made its way across, and while the building shown here is the one that took most of the damage, their complex across from there is also untenable, and they had to rush and pick out their stuff and take their stuff out, before the building was set to be demolished. They had big issues where a bunch of their stuff was damaged, waterlogged. There was a bunch of water damage from the fire hoses. They had managed to recover their fursuits. The fursuits were pretty waterlogged and damaged. They had to do that, and they're still, recovering from that. They had to recover a bunch of clothing, a bunch of electronics, and things like that. So they had their stuff was still salvageable to some degree, but obviously some of it was damaged beyond repair. Some of it had to be left behind. It was very much a situation in which they could get what they could get, and they had to move really quickly. Their timeline, which their Twitter accounts will be put in the description below, go over a full account of the situation and the thing at hand. It is a tough loss. Like as I said, I have the possibility of losing this house in a few months. But that would be under my own volition and selling things, and I obviously would be able to salvage everything I have, because it's not an emergency situation where I would lose things. But even that is tough to deal with, and even knowing it's like looking around the house, and like it's one of those things. It's like I come home and I don't have to think about work, but now I come home and it's like now I'm thinking about work, because it's like if I gotta have to sell the house, I gotta get cleaning, like making sure that everything is cleaned up and in order and things like that. So like you come home and you're still kind of captured by work, and it's not fun. But a fire taking everything that you knew, and taking the home that you knew and upending it and completely leaving you scrambling around looking for a place to live is certainly a tough situation. Isn't the first time a furry's lost their home to a fire. I remember that there was one here in upstate New York that also occurred a few years ago. I can't remember their name. It was a while ago, but the world's sometimes chaotic. It's you never know what's going to happen when you walk in the door tomorrow. Every bit of stability you take for granted can sometimes be lost at a moment. And in the long run, they made an update video afterwards that indicated that they're very thankful and grateful for the community for coming out and showing support to them during this hard time. They're currently not really looking to ask for fiscal assistance or financial assistance in any way, shape, or form. They said if they do end up needing that, they will create a GoFundMe page. Currently, an official one does not exist for this situation. They said they need to get their things in order. They need to sort of let the adrenaline settle for the situation before they can fully assess if any other assistance will be needed. So to those two and to everyone of DifFURently, hopefully get through this rough time, and obviously let us know if you need any help or any assistance in any way, and I'll help promote that GoFundMe or anything else that you need if you decide you need it. That being said, I'm going to get the hop out of here. I think that, so basically, at the end of the whole thing, furries of YouTube have been having a real rough time of it lately. On top of the announcements, of the site type announcements, real life has been really harsh on a lot of us here, and hopefully we'll get through it, and we'll continue to provide content for you in which you enjoy. So feel free to kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section, and I'm going to get the hop out of here. Thank you very much for watching again, and I will see you next week. Thank you.